everybody. Michelle Tennant Nicholson here. I'm an international publicist and co-founder of friendsofeastflatrock.org. We're doing a series right now on our YouTube channel where we're featuring certain friends from Friends of East Flat Rock. And today I'm going to introduce another Michelle, and she's a 2Ler just like me. Michelle Wilson. Welcome, Michelle. How are you?
Good. Thank you for having me.
I would love for you to just say a little bit about who you are, what you do, how long you've been in East Flat Rock, and why you oppose the asphalt plant.
Okay, that sounds good. Well, I moved here in 1975. Actually, the house that I'm living in Highland Hills in East Flat Rock, was my mom and dad's house. They're both deceased now, but I came here, I was a single mom, and I came here to be closer to my parents. And we came in 1979. My son went to East Flat Rock Elementary, which is now some apartments there, and graduated from East High. I went on to become a nurse when I was a late bloomer. I didn't do it until I was in my late 40s.
Wow.
And I worked at Mission Hospital, and I worked at Park Ridge too. And then when I retired, I did some volunteer work at the free clinic, you know, in their pharmacy, and in their clinic too, once or twice. I'm now working part-time as an assistant manager down at the Family Dollar, which is right down the street. I don't know if you're familiar with it or not.
Oh, I went to the Family Dollar to get some alcohol recently.
Yeah, well, we don't have any.
I know. When I was there, I was like, I got a few bottles, and then I was like, I really just want to scoop all of these up and take them, but I didn't want to be a hoarder. So, you know, I just got a few, but I'm very familiar. Yeah. I don't know if you know too, from our past series when I did with Ellen, but I'm the daughter of 2 nurses.
Right. I did know that.
Yeah. I love nurses. Yeah.
Yeah.
And just by the way,
great profession.
You know, I just want to say shout out for my husband. Okay, my parents were both Florence Nightingales, and when I was sick, he would definitely take care of me. I mean, my father and my mother, but my husband doesn't have that patience that nurses have. Just so when you all talk to my husband, you let Shannon know that he needs a little more Florence Nightingale when I'm sick. Okay,
I'll make that one of my priorities.
And the reason, I can't believe you've been here for so long too, Michelle. I mean, you've been here a really long time. This is your home.
Yes, it is. I've seen this neighborhood is so unique. These people that live in this neighborhood, some of them are deceased now, but they've lived their whole life here in this one neighborhood, and everybody loves each other. We walk the dogs outside around the loop, and it's just a really neat place to live. It kind of reminds you of a neighborhood of olden days where everybody knew each other and sit on the porch and wave as they went by. So it's really a neat neighborhood, and I would hate to see it disturbed by having an asphalt plant right down the hill. I'm actually at the top where that property starts. And if there was an asphalt plant there, it would just ruin our neighborhood, and it would just affect our property values. And Sam and I have done a lot of updates for the house since this house was built in the 60s. I mean, we put new floors in, new cabinets in the kitchen, you know, and we've paid a lot of money. We put a heating and air conditioning system in just recently.
Now,
and
Michelle,
if this plant were to go in.
Is Sam your husband, Michelle?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
He didn't want to be on camera.
I understand. I usually have that. Like, my husband didn't want to be on camera either, but I forced him, and he was like, all right, we'll take one for the team. I do want to tell on myself, though. I have lived, you know, I think that our commissioners are impressed by people who grew up here. I think that they want to hear from everybody in Henderson County, especially East Flat Rock. So when I say this is your home, I want to qualify that because, you know, I grew up in a community called Valley Station in Louisville, Kentucky. Okay. And it's just when you grow up in a particular suburb, there's something about the history of that suburb that's not available to people who just move in there in adulthood. And I think that that's especially interesting to have your perspective on this. And what I want to tell on myself about is I've lived across the street from you, across Spartanburg Highway from you since 2004. And you know what? I didn't walk that loop that you're talking about until the pandemic, right? Because I would go
Mhm.
to the gym and I would teach spinning at the gym, and I would just go kayaking or go to the parks. And then when the pandemic hit, my mom, who's 84, we started walking the loop, and we met Judy Williams and we met some other neighbors. And then this all happened. And now I'm like really present to how special Highland Hills is. And I wasn't before. So tell me a little bit about not only why you oppose the asphalt plant, but what is being said in Highland Hills?
Well, everybody, I think, most everybody is against the asphalt plant. There's just one person who's for it. But, you know, we have people like Linda Duncan and Terry Reed. Now, Terry Reed, actually, her dad is the one who built all these houses in this subdivision. So she grew up here. You know, she was just a little child when he started building these houses. And I think everybody, you know, if you walk the neighborhood, you'll see there's signs on every house against the asphalt plant. So I don't think there's anybody that thinks it's a good idea to have it here, you know, not in a residential area. I'm not against, you know, people putting an asphalt plant somewhere. It just doesn't belong here in this neighborhood.
Yeah, and the thing that for me is the fabric of the neighborhood, it skews more toward the retired folk, right?
Yes, it
I mean, people
does.
are really wanting, you know, in my mother's neighborhood now, her age, 84, where I grew up in Valley Station, it cycled over to a lot of the younger folk because we're so close to Fort Knox because we were a military family. So it's
Right.
still like regenerating. So that's the other thing that I just want to, you know, many of us have the capacity to move, but I don't think a lot of people in Highland Hills would move. This is like their dream home and they're going to be there forever.
Right. And it would
So,
be unfortunate if this would happen. It would really be unfortunate for the neighborhood. If you couldn't even walk around, I don't think, you know, with the smoke and everything. It just seems like it would really mess the neighborhood up. And I think about the future of the neighborhood as people die, the property values being so low that we're not going to get people to move here that are interested in keeping the neighborhood up, and it's going to eventually go downhill. And I can see in years to come that there's not a neighborhood here at all because of the asphalt plant.
and that's what we want to really grow Henderson County in a way that makes sense, right? And I don't know that
Yeah,
that's really the vision of East Flat Rock and Henderson County's plans, even from the planning board.
I don't think so either.
Well, what do you think is, you've been to some of the meetings with Jeff Shipman, and he really wants us to hear him. What do you think about it when he says, you're just overreacting and you're not even gonna see this. You're not gonna smell this. You're not gonna be bothered by this. What do you say to all that, Michelle?
I don't understand how he can say that. I have such conflicted opinions about him because after the planning board meeting, I actually went up to him as a Christian person and told him that I was sorry the way things happened and that I understood what he was trying to do and I understand his point of view, but this is not the right place. I said, if you lived in Highland Hills, you might feel differently. You know, and I thought, I don't know why I thought that maybe he would be receptive to that. But then hearing him write such ugly things in his letter and saying that, we don't care and that we're not even going to see this plant. I mean, that's ridiculous. You can't say that. There's going to be noise. There's going to be smoke. There's going to be dust. And I'm so close to it, I don't understand how he can even say that. I'm trying to be a Christian person. you know, when it comes to my feelings about him, but sometimes it's hard to do.
Amen. All that you can say to that is amen. Well, and on that note, one of the, you know, from what we can tell from the paperwork, he's now purchased the property, and one of the previous owners who did purchase it, you know, from the Reed family back, like it's been sold and sold again. But that's what somebody said, is it's now in God's hands.
Yes.
What is the outcome that you're hoping for, that God blesses us with?
Well, I've been praying every day that this does not happen. So God is in the plans too, but people have to be involved as well as God. It's just not up to God, it's up to us too.
And I just want to say that I was raised in a very religious home, Michelle, and so I get the Bible Belt. Okay, we are in the Bible Belt, and so for those of you who are turned off by conversations of the Bible, you can just turn the video off now, because we're going to get a little biblical. But there is power in, there is life or death in the tongue, and that's in the Bible. And I just want to say that it is important that we, as a group of 10,000, almost 11,000 Western North Carolina neighbors, so we're also being criticized and questioned, and all we can do is give life in our tongue, and that is to be respectful, to have our voice be heard, and to actually like do what's right for Henderson County in the long term. And I do think that any rational politician that we're appealing to will see our plea and will hear our plea. And I do trust that they're going to do what's right for the future generations. And we don't have control over those who don't have integrity or don't, and I don't even want to have conjecture on what's going on behind closed doors, right? There's a lot of people who worry about that, but all we can do is say, let's have a civil discourse, find common ground on what's best for this community, and then let our elected officials choose and vote, and that'll happen in September or early October. And beyond that, any type of ugly behavior, ugly commentary, or anything like that, that's out of our control. Right? And all we can do is let go and let God. That's what I've been saying a lot every day, especially when somebody gets really furious and then takes it out on me. You know, I'm just a public servant right here. This is what I'm doing is God's work, Michelle. And my father, you know, I've been praying the prayer of Jabez for like many, many years, and I want to end on that, because I want to look that up, because I haven't done that. I've got a little coin that my father gave me before he passed, and I really think, you know, that I want to just pull that up. You don't know it by heart, do you?
No.
Oh, that you would bless me indeed and enlarge my territory, and that your hand would be with me, and that you would keep me from evil, that I may not cause pain. Right? So God granted him what he required. So this is, you know, it's an abundance prayer, really. And that's why my father gave it to me. And so that's, as a business owner, that's all I ever wanted, was to help people with my business. And so I don't know what the motivations are for the people in the opposing viewpoints of this fight, but I do trust that the commissioners will hear us. And that what I hope to come out of this, and I told this to one of the commissioners by phone, I said, I really hope that what comes out of this is that we really, like, I know that a large majority of us have already shown up for planning meetings, me included. I did that 2 years ago and at the school. And so also the criticism that we haven't even looked at the plans is not truthful. And what I hope is, now that we've engaged everybody, I do hope it's voted our way. And I do hope that all of the passion that's come out for East Flat Rock turns into planning where we really do grow this area in a way that is worthy of what it is. We have, there's only like a sliver of the bog left, right? We have a plant here that is only in one other place in the world. The ozone layer in Saluda, also only one other place in the world, in Italy. So there are, and then the Green River and the places that are here, that the reason why the camps thrive here. This is a very special area on the planet, and I feel like we are doing God's work. I'm going to shut up now and see what you have to say about all of that.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I think that this is a wonderful area. Just looking at the mountains, it's just, I've always loved the mountains, and I'd like to spend the rest of my life here. I really would, in East Flat Rock, without an asphalt plant.
Me too. All right, let's keep the fight going. And any final words that you want to tell all of our friends of East Flat Rock, or whoever might be watching this?
Let's keep the faith. We can do it. As Mary Chapin Carpenter says, be strong.
Good words. Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you.